Just want to record a few thoughts as I'm striding through Kurt Cobain Park in Aberdeen, Washington. This is about 2 blocks from Kurt's childhood home, which is a matter of public record. You can find the address online just by typing in Kurt Cobain's childhood home. So I'm not giving anything away that's not already out there. All right, this is like just dumb. Well, what do I have to say? I think I'll show you also. I've already taken some shots of some things that I found interesting here. Here's this kind of model and sign. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah. I don't know what KC and the Sunshine Band, I don't know what they would have thought of any of this. What would he think of himself being hero worshipped like this? I think it would have made him profoundly uncomfortable. But here it is. And that's the thing, it's the whole Kurt Cobain effect. So Gen X. It makes him so even those of us who would make fun of him would sooner make fun of him than those who valorize him and see him as the second coming, or who talk about him like, oh, he was just too beautiful of a soul for this world and all that kind of stuff. I think the people who would say that's bunk, that's garbage, that's just stupid, that Cobain himself would agree with them. So it's a weird kind of thing. Like his legacy was started by his artistic sensibility, which you could say was very Gen X, I guess. But he didn't lay claim to originality. You watch the documentary about a son. He says, everybody I knew had a childhood just like mine. There's nothing special about me. All my parents got divorced. We shared the same kinds of experiences, both good and bad, of growing up during this particular time period. So he's self-effacing, a self-effacing icon, and I don't know if if that's part of what makes him iconic, his self-effacement. I don't know if there has ever been an icon like that before him. I think that's what makes him unique. Is you could say all the things about him. Yeah, he was a heroin addict. Then again, I say his heroin addiction has to be seen in context of the fact that he dealt with chronic pain for much of his life, and heroin actually killed the pain. He had stomach problems for most of his adult life, and the doctors weren't able to tell him anything, even when he was rich and could afford the best doctors. That none of them seemed to know what was going on in his gut, and no medication worked except heroin. So I actually have some sympathy with him there. Not that I'm condoning heroin usage, but I don't think Cobain would have said that he condoned it either. So anyway, I find myself ironically defending him. I know there are people who say, yeah, he was a male feminist. He was, his politics were garbage and all that, and I agree largely with that assessment. But my sense is that somebody like him, with his self-awareness, would have grown out of that. And my guess, this is only guesswork, my guess is that if he were alive today, he'd be one of us. And by one of us, I mean someone who dissents from this crap world they're trying to construct. They're trying to bulldoze everything that is sane and to construct this crap world in its place. I happen to think that KC would have seen that too. Because even when he was, a self-avowed feminist and all of that, he still had a sensibility, an artistic sensibility that would shock people today. A song like "Rape Me" wouldn't cut the mustard today in today's political climate. A song like "Polly." By the way, this is like I sardonically I saw this little pathway here and thought, is this where Kurt took Polly? And so I ventured down this path a little bit, keeping in mind we are in Western Washington. You know what the climate is like here. What should I stumble upon? But Polly's Lair. What do you know? No, it's probably just a homeless person. Although, look, we've got a woman's shoe. See that? Is that Polly's shoe? Polly had big feet. Anyway. So this is the bridge, and of course there's the whole "Something in the Way" song that comes to mind. I don't think this is the bridge that that song was about. If that song is about any actual bridge, I think that Cobain said that at one point he was just bumming around, and after he graduated high school but didn't go to art school, he was just living on people's couches and just living kind of aimlessly, sort of practicing guitar with this ambition of being in a band, but things hadn't really come together for him, and he said that people eventually he wore out his welcome and mentioned sleeping in his car, sleeping under bridges, just sort of in passing. But I doubt it was this one. This one is very close to his childhood home. Anyway, I did not come to Washington State to visit the Kurt Cobain Memorial, but it happened to be here, and I thought I would come and I guess in my own way pay my respects by being disrespectful in a way that I think KC himself would have appreciated. But strange though, I'm like that I would be angling for his approval, for his soul's approval, for wanting to think, oh, that he's looking down or looking up. Who knows where he is right now? Hopefully looking down from purgatory. I doubt he went straight to heaven, but he might well be in purgatory, or maybe he's worked off his transgressions by now. I don't know, but anyway, looking from wherever he is and smirking in appreciation at a fellow Gen Xer. So anyway, the complicated legacy of Kurt Cobain. I think the people who just valorize him are missing the point. I think the people who just demonize him, or who read his I don't know, read certain things about him in the worst possible light, determined to make him into the most detestable possible person. I think they're both missing the point. Yes, Kurt was liberal left, or KC. KC. I'm calling him KC because that avoids calling him Kurt, which sounds too familiar. That's what everybody does. And calling him Cobain, which sounds a little too unfamiliar, a little too I don't know, unfamiliar. I'll just stick with that. So I think the people on both sides miss the point. In a way, they demonstrate the point by making him this lightning rod when he never thought of himself that way, never intended to be a lightning rod, never intended to be a star. He's sort of an anti-star. Although there's something in the memorial here, which I'll show y'all. One of the things, they've got this list of quotes, and most of them are just sort of, take them or leave them. But the last thing he says, the last thing that's where he's quoted here. My name is Kurt, and I sing and play the guitar, and I'm a walking, talking bacterial infection. I am a walking, talking bacterial infection. That sounds like somebody who's, setting himself up as something out of the ordinary. Even if he's saying it, like representing himself as something that you would want to avoid. Again, the Gen X self-effacement, proclivity to self-effacement. That's where I'm going to end my thoughts. Thanks for joining me.